Mayor Melton, we are in the streets. It's about 11:30. Wanted to show you phase one of what's taking place for our streetlight program, Relight the City. So we've already started on Grant Street. Drive down Grant Street, you're going to see brand new LED lights that have been turned on all the way from Ridge Road, all the way down to Fifth Avenue. Right now, part of phase one is also Broadway. We've been waiting on the new poles to come in, so some of the new poles are on its way. We have a lot of missing poles that people from car accidents have hit. But right now, the ones that aren't existing, we're changing the heads out, and what you're going to see is our contractor that's been working with us for the last close to a year. You're going to see him out today. What's up, folks? This is Mayor Melton. We are in the streets. It's about...
Greetings. My name is Derek Cannon, and I'm Chief of Police for the City of Gary. I am before you today not only as a dedicated member of the community, but as a public servant to share with you the progress that we've made together in the last year, building towards a safer and more connected environment. While challenges remain, I am proud to report significant decreases in violent crime, to report a drop in non-fatal shootings of 10%, a drop in homicides of 23%, and not only with that drop, there's been a 74% clearance rate in those homicide investigations. Patrol activity has seen a remarkable growth. Over 9,800 extra patrols and privilege checks were conducted, an increase of 118% from 2023. Shots fired calls dropped by 17%, with 1,368 reported versus 1,644 in the previous year. Citations issued more than doubled, reaching 9,679, a 148% increase over the previous year. This positive trend is a testament to the collaboration between our officers, our partners, and you, our community members, especially the residents who actively report suspicious activity and provide valuable information to our department. We've also made strides in enhancing transparency and accountability within the department. This includes our body-worn camera program, enhanced training, and just elevated patrols in a proactive way, which allows us a greater oversight and also a different type of engagement with the community. Furthermore, we actively engage with community leaders and organizations to better understand the concerns of our neighborhoods and our population here in the city of Gary. This has led to the development of partnerships with several community-based initiatives designed to address the specific needs and build stronger relationships between the law enforcement community and our community here at large. In terms of traffic safety, fatal traffic accidents fell by 39% with 11 incidents versus 18 incidents in the previous year, and non-fatal traffic accidents declined by 3% with 3,196 incidents versus 3,303 in 2023. Vehicles towed and impounded increased by 18%, with 3,081 vehicles towed compared to 2,608 in 2023. Special operations and investigations. The SWAT team conducted 55 operations leading to 72 detainees and the seizure of 37 firearms. General crimes resulted in 106 defendants charged with 506 felonies and 87 misdemeanor charges during their investigations. Narcotics Investigations Group led to 52 defendants charged with 112 felonies and 40 misdemeanor charges. We are committed to continuous improvement and remain open to feedback from all members of our community. I urge you to continue to partner with us by reporting crimes, attending community forums, and engaging in open dialogue. Together, we can create a safer, greater Gary with everyone.
This is our infant classroom, and you just can't go by without looking at the baby.
We're here to talk about something that truly shapes the future of our city, and that's early childhood education.
All the curriculum is active and excite children about problem solving and learning.
Today, what we were able to witness is the greatness of Gary and the greatness of Head Start coming together.
We know that the success of our children directly influences the success of our city.
In order to create big projects and deliver for Northwest Indiana, we have to have and must have an educational workforce to be able to fill those jobs.
We're laying a foundation for stronger families, a stronger economy, and a stronger Gary, Indiana for generations to come. This isn't just about education. It's about building a stronger community. When we invest in our children, we invest in our community.
Those students who have that early investment or intervention have a greater outcomes to be successful.
Good morning.
Give me a second. Marco, are you able to talk?
This is our infant classroom, and you just can't go by without looking at the baby.
We're here to talk about something that truly shapes the future of our city, and that's early childhood education.
all the curriculum.
Good morning. I'd like to call to order the City of Gary Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for May 14th, 2025. May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. To confirm, we have a legal meeting. May we have roll call to confirm we have quorum?
Member Green. Present. Member Allen.
Present.
Secretary Morgan.
Present.
Vice President Dumas. President Suggs.
Present.
Mr. President, there are 4 present and 1 absent.
With 4 members present, we have quorum and a legal meeting. I will move on to item number 3 on our agenda, and that is the approval of the May 7th meeting minutes. May I have a motion, please?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes for 5/7/25 have been approved. May we go on to item number 4 on our agenda, claims.
Mr. President, we have before us claims listed to be paid on May 16, 2025. General fund is $342,051.26. Special revenues, including motor vehicle highway, local roads and streets, park department, vehicle auction, community development grant, law enforcement training grant, solid waste recycling grant, media fund, Love Your Block grant, and consolidated area TIF is a total of $132,256.84. For the general fund casino, public safety income tax, market, park, and fire fund pension, $63,908.39. Total to be paid on May 16th is $538,216.49.
May I have a motion to approve claims payable May 16th, 2025?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, claims for payable May 16th, 2025 have been approved.
We also have before us ratification of claims for May 8th and May 12th. Total of $529,324.34.
May I have a motion to pay ratification of claims for May 8th and May 12th?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, ratification of claims have been approved for May 8th and May 12th.
That concludes claims.
Thank you. Line item number 5 on our agenda, correspondence and agreements.
Mr. President, we have correspondence from the Public Works Division. First item is residential disabled parking. This is for renewal. The following address has been brought to us for recommendation of approval. It is 740 Carolina Street. At this time, I would like to make a motion that we accept the residential handicap parking sign renewal application.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a renewal for residential handicap parking for 740 Carolina Street, zip code 46402. May I have a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion?
Just for the record, all submitted documentation has been verified and required fees will be paid upon approval.
Any additional discussion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes and 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the renewal for 740 Carolina Street has been approved.
Next, from the Public Works Division, we have 2 equipment purchase agreements. The first is for the purchase of a Ford F-450 from Rush Truck Center. The Law Department has reviewed the attached purchase order with Rush Truck Center for the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-450 Crew Cab 4x4 reading SLU 132 DW 11-foot service truck for the amount of $87,191, which this amount represents a discount off of MSRP. This equipment is being offered at this reduced government price pursuant to Sourcewell. RFP number 032824, which bids were opened on March 28th, 2024, which are valid through July 9th, 2028. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the purchase agreement for the Ford F-450 for a not to exceed amount of $87,191.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on the motion for this purchase? Do we have an idea what that discount was or is? I don't seem to see it.
I can add real quick. It was 7% below the manufactured, the MSRP.
Thank you, sir. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green? Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the purchase for the F-450 Rush truck, purchase of the F-450 from Rush Truck Center has been approved. Thank you.
The next equipment purchase agreement we have before us today is for a 2025 Freightliner plus regular cab from CUES, which stands for Consolidated Utility Equipment Services, Inc. The Law Department has reviewed the attached purchase order with QUES for the purchase of a 2025 Freightliner M2 106 plus 4x2 regular cab broom truck for the amount of $213,075, which also this amount represents a discount off of MSRP. This equipment is being offered at this reduced government price pursuant to Sourcewell RFP number 110421, which bids were opened on November 4th, 2021. And which are valid through December 27th, 2025. With this being said, I would like to make a motion that we accept this equipment purchase agreement between the city and QUES for the purchase of a 2025 Freightliner plus the 4x2 regular cab for a not to exceed amount of $213,075.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we purchase a 2025 Freightliner truck. This is a boom truck that is going to be necessary to help our Public Works Department in
Tree services.
yes, maintaining consistent tree service throughout our system. Any discussion on this motion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas? I'm sorry, President Suggs?
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the boom truck for $213,075 has been approved.
That concludes correspondence from the Public Works Division. Next, we have correspondence from the Gary Police Department. We have a retirement notice. We respectfully submit the retirement notice of Corporal David Gachet. Corporal Gachet began his employment as a police officer for the city of Gary on March 9th, 1994, totaling 31 years of service. He retired from his position effective April 21st, 2025. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the retirement notice for Corporal David Gachet.
Second. It's been moved and properly second that we accept the retirement notice for Corporal Gachet after 31 years of service with the Gary Police Department, effective April 21st, 2025. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, just that Corporal Gachet included a letter and where he says it's been a pleasure serving the city of Gary for 31 years. And we thank him for his 31 years of service to the people of Gary and hope he has a long and healthy retirement.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Roll call for approval, please.
Member Green. Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, we respectfully accept the retirement and wish Corporal Gachet a wonderful retirement, and we appreciate the 31 years of service.
Mr. President, next we have correspondence from the Law Department. First is an amendment to a contract for professional services with Shirlita Hunter. She was previously contracted to help the fire department with their payroll and related tasks. This amendment would increase the compensation by 20% and extend the term of the contract from April 30th through June 30th. So I do believe, looking at the paperwork that's attached, that the increase would be $3,000 to her contract that was originally $15,000. So with that, I move that we accept the amendment, which extends the time and increases the amount of the previous contract by 20% with Ms. Shirlita Hunter to serve the Gary Fire Department.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the increase in compensation for Shirlita Hunter. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. May I have discussion, if any?
Yes. I'm not sure I have a copy of what was read. Mine indicate that it expires on April 30th. And there is a QC-40 attached for $3,000, but it doesn't indicate there's an increase on what I have.
The amendment, this two-page thing is front and back, says that the original contract would have expired April 30th, and this is an extension to take her through June 30th. Chief Tillman is here. Can you?
I don't have that.
You don't have it.
Mine indicate that it expires on April 30th.
On the third whereas?
Oh, at the top?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, the intent of this was basically to extend it through June 30th. When we initially entered into this contract, we had a gap in service with our payroll specialist who took unexpected leave at the time, and the April 30th was sufficient for that payroll specialist to return. And since then, there was an additional leave that was taken, and so we just wanted to extend the contract. And with doing that, we needed to add a little more funds, to make sure that we had a sufficient amount of money there to make sure she was compensated.
So in actuality, you're not increasing it, but extending.
Yes, extended it to June 30th. The current payroll specialist won't be back into June 11th, so we just want to make sure that we don't have any gaps in coverage in the future. We did add the 20% with the $3,000 to it just to make sure that we had enough money in there since we were extending the contract. But the main goal was to make sure that we just didn't have any gaps in service for the fire department and payroll.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?
So yeah, it states that we're extending the term to June 30th of this year. it's just under the term of the contract, it still reflects April 30th. So, I mean, it's just a simple change to June 30th under term of contract. So that's the only edit that.
And it still indicates the purchase price is $18,000. It's confusing to us if we have to, for an audit, not you. I'm sorry, confusing to us for an audit because we do see the whereas it says there's a difference, but then it states the terms are exactly the same as they were before, and then it states that the purchase price is exactly the same as it was before. That's the confusing part.
Okay.
The purchase price didn't move up to 18,000.
Is it 18 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
15 before, so the 3,000 goes up to 18.
It's included.
Okay, that's what I mean by confusing.
Do we want to revise the motion to include changing the reading of this that shows it moves from 15,000 to 18,000 for clarity's sake?
I think the dollar amount is fine, or I think it's just the date that just needs to be corrected. Because the dollar amount reflects the additional 3,000 if the original was 15.
Okay, so,
But it doesn't
And-
state that,
No, it
that the
doesn't state.
original was 15. That's the,
Okay.
what I'm hearing.
all right, so
Controllers.
how about in the second whereas, where it says, and to increase the compensation from 15,000 to 18,000, which is a 20% increase. And then in paragraph 2, term of contract, where it says the contract shall be for a term commencing on the effective date and expiring, we'll cross out April 30th and make that June 30th. And we'll get the updated version ready so it can be signed today. So I'd like to amend my motion to ask that we approve, to move that we approve the contract as amended today, like that we would include today's amendments. I still call it the first amendment to contract for professional services with Shirlita Hunter. So that's my motion, that we'd include the changes I just read into the record.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Thank you, Chief. Roll call, please.
Member Green? Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President's vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the amendment to this contract is approved as stated.
All right, so next, Mr. President, we have a professional services contract rescission with LGS Plumbing, and this is gonna impact the next couple items on the agenda. So I'm about to make the motion that we do the rescission, but then I would like for Chief Tillman and Attorney Molina to explain the moving parts in this. So I move that we rescind the contract with LGS Plumbing Incorporated that the board had previously approved.
Would it be appropriate to do them both at the same time?
I think we need to do the rescission and then approve the new one.
No, I mean both of the rescissions together.
Okay, we can. All right, so I'm gonna change that motion. I move that we rescind the contract with LGS Plumbing as well as the contract with Larson Danielson that was approved at our previous Board of Works meeting last week.
So motion on the floor, may I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and is properly second. Any discussion on this motion?
Marco, can you perhaps explain why we're doing it?
Absolutely. So on both LGS and
Larson Danielson, we approved them last week for base bid amounts with some alternative work that was also going to be part of it. But it didn't make sense, and it wasn't clear because the base bid on Larson Danielson was like 268, and on LGS was like 42,000 roughly with alternative work. The reason it was bid out that way is because when they were bidding it, they weren't sure what work was going to be authorized by HUD. They got word after they got the bids back, but they knew that this is work they needed to get done, so they listed that work under alternate. They since got information back from HUD that the alternate work was going to be allowable. So just to make it more clear on the record, we wanted to rescind the old amounts and put in the new amounts. That includes the original base bid plus the alternate work, which is some additional work at Station 4, 12, and 13 on general trades for Larson Danielson, and some additional work on, I think, 13 for LGS plumbing. Will also was very instrumental in getting the core construction, who is our construction manager, on the phone, along with Chief Tillman. So again, we're just basically doing this for clarity. We've already approved it, and it's not really different from what we approved. The work is the same. It's just adding in the alternate on top of the base bid, so it's all one number, and doing it that way. Does that sound accurate, Will?
100%.
Any questions?
Well,
Yes.
and so just that it does make everything a lot clearer, and it ensures that we'll stay out of any trouble if there are change orders with this work. So.
Exactly, and that was the intent. We didn't want the state to think that we approved something and immediately changed it right away. That all was approved at once. We just wanted it to be reflected in the overall number.
Thank you. Any additional questions? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the rescission and approved new contract amounts have been approved for Larson Daniels as well as LGS Plumbing.
Mr. President, next we have the updated contract with LGS Plumbing in the amount of $54,862 to perform work at our fire stations to bring them up to code. So I move that we approve the contract with LGS Plumbing for $54,862.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Okay. Mr. President, next we have the revised contract with Larson Danielson Construction Company in the amount of $298,521 to do remodeling work at our fire stations. I move that we approve this contract for the $298,521.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, please roll call.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs? Mr.
Yes.
President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Okay. Mr. President, next we have a contract for professional services with Metric Environmental LLC. They've previously done environmental work for the city. This contract is for environmental services, which are explained in Exhibit A, which I'm going to get to right now. This contract would authorize them performing Phase 1 environmental studies and our screening assessments as directed by the City of Gary's Environmental Department under Brenda Scott Henry. Assist her department in coordinating with other agencies for the completion of transit-oriented development, screenings, and other land quality studies to maximize the property condition knowledge repository of the city, and complete a review of pertinent regulatory guidelines, policies, and procedures that are pertinent to the 2025 goals for the city regarding property transfer, environmental review, and investigation, and also assist us with air quality inspections. So with that, I move that we approve this contract with Metric Environmental LLC, the amount of $42,317.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second to approve contract for professional services with Metric Environmental LLC. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Next, Mr. President, we have a contract renewal for software services from Vector Solutions, which is also known as Target Solutions Learning LLC, to assist the fire department. This contract is for $15,990.20. I move that we approve the renewal of this contract with Vector Solutions in the amount of $15,990.20.
It's a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Chief, is this just, is there new software, is there new functionality, or is it just?
No, this is longstanding programming that we have for the fire department, probably a little over 5 years, that helps us keep up with our training for the department. We're able to send out training to all 156 firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics, and mold it to what we need them to train to stay in accordance with our training purposes. And so they get a new assignment every month. The chief of training manages that and sends them out to the individual groups, and the training is done at their time within like 30 days, and they're able to submit it. And it's just an easy way to do the training and keep us in compliance with that for the fire department.
Is this computer-based training?
Yes, yes. And you can go through it, you can mold it to what you want to if you want to take training outside of there. But there's mandatory training that the chief of training and his staff assigns, like if I'm a paramedic, to keep up with my training for my hours, or firefighter 1 and 2, or any additional things. If a person have an accident, you can give them some EVOC training through this programming, and it reports back to them. They're able to see everything that they do within the system with that training. And it keeps it organized for reporting purposes to the state when they want to see what training we do for the department.
Any additional questions for the chief? Thank you, sir.
No problem.
May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen? Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the contract for software services renewal has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have a contract for 311 software with Catalyst, which is located at 3025 Windward Plaza in Alpharetta, Georgia. The 311 software is something that we use in a number of our departments, but in particular constituent services, to handle constituent concerns and complaints and make sure that the concern is funneled to the proper department who can address it. So with that, the contractor agrees to continue the software subscription related to the city's 311 call center and service pursuant to the rates and terms outlined in the contractor's order dated April 11, 2025. The compensation under this contract would be $38,855.99. The term of the contract would be for 1 year, but we have to correct paragraph 2. There's a typo that says 2025, but it should say through 2026. So, again, that paragraph currently reads, this contract should be for a term commencing on the effective date and expiring 12 months later on February 28, 2025. But that should say 2026. And so with that, I move that we approve the contract with Catalyst for 311 software for the amount of $38,855.99 for 1 year.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the contract services for 311 software in the amount of $38,855.99. Any discussion on this motion? I have a question. The amount of the previous contract, is it consistent? Do we know with this, did they increase the amount or is it static?
Well, what we received in finance, it increases every year. There was a multi-year contract, and this is a single-year contract?
Well, this extends the
Term.
it gives us another year on that contract. I'm looking through the attachment.
And the previous contract was also under a different name. They have changed names.
Company name?
Okay, I do see pricing year one, 38,855, year two, 40,410.23 on exhibit 3. So there's a second year to this contract that will be at an increase. Any additional questions? Roll call for approval, please.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes, I am a bit uncomfortable, not having someone to be here, but,
Okay.
thank you. So,
Could you give us your name and position, just for the record?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Latonya Gassian from the IT department.
good morning.
Good morning.
You heard the discussion in regards to the contract and costs. Do you have anything to add to that discussion?
Now, was there a question in regards to the year two?
There was a
year one?
question in the contract that this is being extended. Was there an increase from the previous contract to this 38,000?
I will definitely check that compared to what we paid last year, but I do believe that price is about the same.
And the second,
May I interject?
please.
It is an increase. We looked thoroughly at the previous contract. The issue was that it was under a different name and that the bill had not been paid in almost a year. And we looked at the last year, the current year, and going forward, and there was an increase every year. There was an excavation because it was a multi-year contract. That was a increase based in that contract that allowed that increase per year.
Is there any changes in the ability of the system? Are there increased attributes to the system? Is it just the same system year over year?
Same system, but I will definitely get some more information from constituent services. I know Kiana worked directly with the representative. There were a lot of cleanups that was done when it comes to the Q Alert application. So I will definitely get the details as far as any additions to it as far as functionality and features.
I mean, I understand inflation, but just to automatically give yourself a raise and the product is not changed or made more effective or efficient should at least be brought to the conversation.
Okay, I will definitely find out those details.
Any additional questions?
I have a question of the board, because I know this is mission critical. Do we want to wait until we get those answers or pass it and then have Ms. Latonia come back and give us a report at a subsequent meeting?
I personally think that this discussion should be reflected or referred to the director, not so much to have it corrected, because I don't think there's a correction. Like you say, this is mission critical, but at least maybe we can adjust our discussion when we go for contract renewal and have these things brought up so that next time we can give the board some assurances that we're doing the proper due diligence.
Okay.
Any additional questions? May I have roll call? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Member
Oh,
Green? I'm sorry.
We already approved it.
Oh, we did? I'm sorry.
I had, well, we were in the middle of a
We were in the middle.
vote, and then we started talking again.
We voted on it.
So I never said aye, I just want to add to them, but yes, for it. So that's all.
Okay, you put you down for two.
Put me down for two.
Is that for the motion?
I didn't record it.
Not for the.
Well, we don't have no recorded vote.
We don't have a recorded vote. Let's just, Member Green,
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes, for the
President
third
Suggs.
time.
Right.
3
Mr.
yeses.
President, the vote is 4 yes. and
You
0 no.
didn't get my vote.
Oh, President Suggs?
For the first time, yes.
Thank you. 4 yes and 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against,
Or
the
7
motion
yes.
carries.
Okay, so, last, I think this is last, we have a contract for debris removal with Underground Excavation Solutions, which is located, in Wanata, Indiana at 6948 West County Road, 1700 South. So this is for, the removal of garbage, trees, debris incorporated located at 890 Chase Street. In addition, it incorporates, it incorporates the QC-40 and other documents. The term of the contract is that they'll complete the work no later than December 31st, 2025. The compensation under this contract is for $8,938 even. The contractor shall submit detailed invoices for services performed to receive payment, and they must adhere to our timely invoicing term in the contract. So with that, I move that we approve this contract for excavation, underground excavation solutions to clean up 890 Chase Street in the amount of $8,938.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the debris removal contract. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this?
A whole lot of people will be very happy that we got that property cleaned up. So, just that I know we're working very hard, as you and I discussed this morning, on, cleaning up city sites and keeping them clean. So, like I said, I think there'll be a lot of folks in the community that are very happy this is getting cleaned up.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green, Member Allen,
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes and 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
That concludes correspondence from the Law Department.
Item number 6 on our agenda, unfinished business. Any unfinished business that goes before the board?
We have a Edgewater Crisis Service grant document under unfinished business. Do we have anybody to speak on that?
I want to share on that document that was forwarded to everyone. I received that from the president and CEO of Edgewater, just for clarification of the discussion we had last week between the grant that was being offered by the city and the grant that they had previously received. Clarification that there was no overlap, and as you can see in the documentation that they received, those grants were two distinct and different functions, and so there was no no overlap or duplication. And so that was the question we had as a board last week. And so if this is satisfactory to the board, I would entertain a vote to approve the grant that we tabled last week.
I'd just like to comment that point of the discussion at the previous meetings, there was a meeting about 2 weeks before that, where we asked for clarification. I don't know that we've gotten, in fact, I know we haven't gotten all the questions that were asked at the meeting that was a few weeks ago. Myself and Controller Green had a number of questions about the level of basically service delivery for Gary residents. So while I think we should move forward and approve this contract, we still need those questions answered. And if there's any doubt on the part of Edgewater or the health department as to what those questions were, they should look at the minutes from those meetings where we were discussing the grants between the health department and Edgewater. Because again, these dollars are hard to come by, and we just really want to make sure that our residents get top-notch service from everyone who receives city money, however they get it.
Yeah, so noted. I thought that we shared with them and their responses was there, but we should probably look at the minutes to be clear that we get everything that you're speaking of.
Okay. Hopefully, someone can come to the next meeting and just be present to answer any remaining questions we have.
And we're speaking of someone from Health Department, correct?
Well, it'd be great if we get someone from Health Department and Edgewater. Health Department oversees this, but if someone is there at the meeting from Edgewater, they can give us more direct answers because they have firsthand knowledge.
Yeah, I guess Health Department would be able to clarify the scope of what they were looking for while they.
Well, the scope and then the
duties,
performance, like the level of service that Gary residents are actually getting as a result of the grant, was, I think, our concern. That was the nature of my concern. I think Controller Green, that was the nature of your concern too.
Okay, Chief of Staff had described it a little different to me, so that's good to know with clarity what everyone's looking for. So we can certainly do that, but I don't think we should.
Yeah, I agree that we should move forward. It's just that accountability. That'll be the last thing I say. We want a high level of accountability.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve. Actually, Mr. Allen, could you make the motion because you were more familiar with the title of the contract?
With the Edgewater?
Mm-hmm.
I think you are.
I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with the Edgewater Crisis Services Grant documentation.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
And it looks like that completes unfinished business.
Item number 7, new business. Is there any new business for the board?
We have something from the planning department. One of the vendors is unable to proceed with one of the appraisals that was approved at one of our Board of Works meetings. This is for 487 Broadway, and they're unable to do it due upon their unavailability. There's another attachment for another appraisal. This amount is for $2,700, and the turnaround is within 2 weeks. Do we have their name?
Yes, they're on the contract.
Landmark Valuation Group,
Yes.
I believe is their name, in the amount of $2,700, 2-week turnaround. The other 2 proposals are attached that we approved at a prior meeting. One was $2,200 for a 3 to 4 week turnaround, and the other one was for $2,000. And it looked like we would be getting deliverables within a couple weeks as well. At this time, I'd like to move forward with the recommendation from the planning department to accept the appraisal from Landmark Valuation in the amount of $2,700.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Just for the record, I'm supporting this in regards to the urgency we need so we can proceed with our blight removal in our downtown area, and the evaluation and appraisal of this property is essential for that to happen. Any additional comments? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
That completes new business.
Any, excuse me. Anyone in queue for public comments online? Looking at the sheet here in the room, I don't notice any names signed up. Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak before the board? Hearing or seeing none, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for your attendance.
Wanted to show you phase 1 of what's taking place for our streetlight program, Relight the City. So we've already started on Grant Street. Drive down Grant Street, you're gonna see